Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it's the Hump Day Happy Hour Salute. And what are we doing today? Oh, we had Black Button Bourbon Whiskey, which I believe you came right out and you said that it was the absolute worst thing that you've ever had.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with one of the top 5 worst for sure.
Oh, and everybody just ran into the room all at once. Did you notice the?
I went from 1 to 15. Yeah,
it went from 0 to 15 very fast. Everybody just ran in.
Jack's Jewel's been hanging out, so kudos to you.
Everybody just walks it down. Plenty of room for everybody.
Hold on, dropping down. People saw you and left.
Wow. I want to give a shout out to the good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter, with this live show tonight. It's another thrift battle. He has Retro Junk 1987, which I think I've got a lot of that too.
I was going to say, let's go to your basement and we can top that.
Versus Yvonne Thrifty Rich. So should be a good battle tonight.
Goodness gracious.
And looks like Jax is welcome to 2022, where he sat waiting for a new YouTube video of 2 American blokes talking about selling bits of paper of eBay excitement and building. Yeah, or eBay excitement building.
Yeah,
we're not selling a building.
No, I want to buy a building. Yes, but
I got a bridge to show you.
Not here.
No, all right, it's worth a try. Yeah, so it beats watching a telly in your flat. There you go. There's my British.
All right, got a lot of lovelies in the house tonight. Lovely Lori's in the house. The lovely Dawn. I'm skipping over Dawn in modern right now, going to the lovely Linda, and then we're gonna go back to Enforcers in the house like always. In modern ringtones archives, Steven. And Aaron is here. Yes, go Chiefs, Aaron. Yes, let's crush the Bills. Yes, I said it right here.
Wow.
And listen. I'm friends with many Bills fans. I just don't like how they act like it's the greatest team ever, the greatest quarterback ever. They're gonna be undefeated. You got to hear that every week. It's just enough is enough.
You're right, and it's one of those deals where you need to be a fan of a team whose fans aren't really cocky. What team do you like, by the way?
Yeah, the team that just lost to the Niners. Yes, correct.
Yeah, because Dallas Cowboys fans are not cocky.
Yeah. Well, Christmas is gone, but Santa Rose's Sam is still here. How's it going, John Jones? He's here like always. Popeye's here nice and early. Dan sweeps. He's sweeping the nation. And then the lovely Don is saying hello to Popeye. So we're all covered.
I wanted a couple of shout outs out of that. Popeye, how you doing on your New Year's goal of getting the, was it 500,000 postcards listed? You doing good on that?
Got about 100,000 in. I guarantee it. What's it, over under 100,000 by now?
As long as he's not buying, that's the key. That's the key. I know I'd be buying.
Exactly.
And John Jones, want to give you a big shout out and a thank you. You sent us a lead. We are in contact. If anything goes through, we'll take care of you. You don't worry about it. And also want to thank John. He did point out the video the other day that posted Tuesday. I do apologize for it. The sync was a little bit off. Talked to Random Neighborhood Kid off it. Something happened in the rendering. I was going to take the video down and put something else up, but I didn't. And there's a reason why I didn't.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I'm reading Popeyes. Hold on.
Okay.
This is a beaut.
Oh, 1 million postcards.
Are those ones you were supposed to buy?
No, nope. Those sold out on somewhere else.
Wow.
1 million postcards. Wow. Well, now at least on the plus side, Popeye, you have a goal for 2023. So There we go. We've done videos before. In fact, you did a video where you were in the warehouse and you actually had your hoodie up because it was so cold.
Yeah.
What would you say the temperature of that was?
Generally, believe it or not, it's warmer in a warehouse than you would think. So if it's like 10 to 20 degrees outside, it's about 50 in the warehouse.
Okay.
So if it's about 30, it's about 55. So when I get there, it is cold. It's a big open area. But I'll put the heater on and, it'll get up to 60, 65. And then I shut it down because it really heats the place for the whole day. And this heater's like 60 years. I mean, it's a beast. It's the size of a Mack truck. So it's not cheap either to run. So.
Well, I bring that up because I woke up yesterday morning. I couldn't get warm all night long. I've got a big, heavy blanket on. I just couldn't get warm. I woke up and walked downstairs, and my thermostat read 53 degrees.
Oh, nice.
And I said, I do like to save $1. But I also like it a little bit warmer than 53.
Right.
Turns out that my heater was not working. So I had to call the guy over, and he took care of it. But my brain was frozen yesterday morning, so I wasn't I was not in the mood to deal with video glitches and take things down. So I do appreciate everybody putting up with it. We're not a professional channel by any means. Sometimes mistakes do happen. I do appreciate everybody. Nobody said anything bad, and that really means a lot to me because again, I could have taken the video down and put a different video up after it had been up, and I just said my brain's frozen. I got to worry about getting heat in the house. Repairman came by, $100, got the thing working again.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah.
can't argue with that whatsoever.
Was it the batteries? Because I just put my batteries in the thermostat and then it started working again.
No, and I actually checked them. I actually troubleshot the batteries. I actually troubleshot outside to make sure the vent wasn't
All right.
covered and up with snow, and also made sure that the breaker was on. So I did all the easy troubleshooting. It turns out it was the valve, the gas valve was stuck and it wasn't opening up. So he took care of it for me. Hey, shout out to him. Can't argue with that whatsoever. He came over before his first appointment because he only lives like 10 minutes away. Stopped on by, got it all working. So
very good.
Have heat now. And that's the important thing.
Well,
working 8 hours a day. There you go.
Gotta put the time in.
Want to thank everybody for last week's show. I'll be honest, I think it was our best show ever, live show last week. It was really a good interactive. I think the talking about the consignments was really fun. It was really good. Got a lot of input from everybody. So thanks to everybody out there. It was a great show. It really was. It's going in our museum.
I was there, right?
Yeah, I believe you were.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You know where you weren't?
No.
You were not on the Auction Professor show.
That is true.
So what did you think of that?
Yeah, I think it was great. Great job.
What was your favorite part of the show?
I just, it's all the great part of every show is just watching you speak. It's always,
yes, it's
brings a joy to my heart and my earlobes. Yeah.
Imagine if you'd actually watched it, how much better it would have been.
Well, it sounded good at least.
You're like the kid who didn't do his homework, didn't read the book, and he's got to do the book report.
I
he's
still
like,
passed. Somehow I still squeaked by.
You know what I really loved? I loved when the protagonist did that against the antagonist. It was a wonderful part of the story.
Meeting of the minds. Yeah, I couldn't ask for any more.
A
lot of content.
There you go. Nice. I like that. I want to give a big shout out to Don, the Auction Professor. That was actually really a lot of fun talking to everybody. It was a really good show, and I did appreciate him having us on. If you haven't checked it out yet, you definitely can. It's last Thursday, his live show. You can watch it in his replays. So it was a lot of fun. How's everybody's sales doing out there? How are your sales doing out there?
Sales are okay. I think my numbers are down as far as items I'm selling daily. I think I'm repeating myself every week, but we're selling higher priced items, so I can't complain. I'm picking up some good deals and we're flipping them quickly. The photo deals getting flipped quickly. Die-cast deals are going. So yeah, website's up and running, and we saved us from getting shut down. I don't think we discussed that, but
go ahead. Sure.
So 3 weeks ago, the credit card processing company for the website does a quarterly scan. And I know nothing about this stuff. I'm not an IT person, but apparently they want to make sure it's not hackable. And we're a red flag because we're an adult site. So we're doing a scan every quarter for the last 2 years at least. And sometimes there's an error where something has to be changed, and then they'll tell my sister, my manager, just go in and change this, and then we're good. Well, 3 weeks ago, we weren't good. They wouldn't tell us how to fix it. They didn't know how to fix it. And they said there's some type of, and I don't even know the jargon for it, but we had to fix it on our own. We contacted Shopify. Everything was good on their end. Credit card processor said no, they won't speak to each other. So we were kind of screwed. So one of my employees, who's kind of a computer guy, said, listen, I'm going on a trip. I go, it's been 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. I'm having trouble sleeping at night because I can't lose the website. Without credit card processing, no one wants to call up and put it on their credit card. No one wants to call up and put it on PayPal. I said, we got to get this fixed. I go, I'll give you a bonus. He collects magazines. That's all. I said, I'll give you $100 in the magazines that you want if you get this fixed. So it came back. They're still having trouble. But as of today, it looks like we passed with flying colors, and the website is good to go for the future. So I'm happy. It's a big deal because the website's been kicking butt lately. So I just wanted to put that out.
I just realized looking at myself, because that's what I do because I'm narcissistic. I stare at myself.
Bored, but okay.
I forgot my tie. Oh, my goodness gracious. Quick little insider tip on how things work. We've got a scheduling issue this weekend with Random Neighborhood Kid not going to be around to be able to help us. So we actually shot a bolo video prior to coming on air, which is kind of why we're out of sorts to start today.
Speak for yourself.
You're out of sorts because you're tired.
Oh, well, I'm always tired. It's normal.
I actually forgot the tie. So there we go. Now it's an official hump day happy hour.
How are your sales?
Oh, thank you for asking. And everybody else out there, tell us how your sales are. Before I tell you how my sales are,
All right.
I'm going to tell you how a couple of other people's sales are.
We know Don's are good.
Oh, very good.
We know Michelle's are good.
Very good. Well, I know Michelle did all that listing and she got up all those listings, and that definitely does make a big difference.
We know Linda's are good.
Wow.
See?
That's good to see.
I'm going to guess the Enforcer's good. He's always good, so you don't have to worry about it.
I talked to one of our subscribers emailed me, and I was talking with him, and he said it was the weirdest thing. He's got 2,500 items up for lack of a better number. He went 41 hours without a sale, and it was not a good week last week. And then he said all of a sudden this week it's like they turned the spigot, and he's got a $250 sale on one item and a $120 item on another sale.
Wow.
And it's been going great guns for him, and there's no explanation to it. And then another mutual friend of ours that we used to bid against at the auctions way back in the day, I asked him how his sales were going, and he said his sales were really good for a little while. And what he did was, instead of listing anything new, he went and got everything that he originally had listed, and he revised it all. He ended it all, restarted it all. So he'd grab all of his boxes and restart everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was really good for him. He had really, really good sales. Now things are back down to normal, but everything that he relisted went really, really well. But he also said he found something like 30 some items that weren't listed on eBay anymore, yet never sold. So somehow they dropped off.
Yeah.
He found like 20 items that were listed on eBay that he didn't have anymore. So it was almost like he took inventory, and everything now has good pictures, good listings, et cetera, et cetera. But then he had really, really good sales. And I've mentioned before the purge that I've done on my listings back 4 years ago, whatever it was, where I dropped off a couple of thousand listings, yet my sales stayed the same. So if you ever are in a situation, as long as you have some number of listings up, I mean, obviously if you have 2 listings up, this isn't going to work. But if you have some number of listings up and you don't feel like listing things, or you don't have new inventory in the list, take the time to tune up your store, and it will definitely make a difference. Your sales will not dip. You'll end up moving stuff that you've had for a while. It definitely, that part does work. I don't have any doubt at all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many items do you have sitting dead in boxes?
No, I gotta say,
you probably have 6 months worth of listing.
Well,
if you could click your fingers and if everything come forward that wasn't listed in those boxes,
I would say 10% easily. So you're talking about, 50,000 items. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Over the course of 10 years, I guess it makes sense. I mean, because I'll go into random boxes every now and then, whether it's a record or a magazine or even toys, and we find things all the time, like, or something was sent out wrong, and then the right item could be in there still, but dead.
Or we went and relisted something, some reason it didn't relist properly, or somebody wanted to work a deal out, so you pulled everything down, set up a deal for them, and then they ended up coming through with
certain titles that we sold in lots, say someone about 50 or 80 in lots, they weren't all ended because they weren't found properly to end, and then they're selling now and we know they're not in there. So it's a little bit of a headache. But like I said, if it's 1% of our inventory, it's or what we sell, 1% of what we sell, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, William, that's exactly what he did. He did like a full inventory of all of his stuff, and did find a lot of problems in there, and his sales did pick up for it as well.
Yeah.
He said he got a really good bump and did a lot of sales, but now it's back down to where it should be. But he was very happy because he'd had things that hadn't moved for years. He went and he relisted it, he tuned it up, relisted it, and it was selling within hours of relisting it because it was findable. It was findable.
Very cool.
Yeah. Think How to List a Magazine. I had a boring vintage auto magazine. Well, aren't they all? But included the Indy 500 article inside of my title and teased only one page of that in my photos, which led to the sale.
Cool.
Very good. And I'm glad you said that as well. We have a video that we were going to shoot it this week, and we'll probably shoot it next weekend, touching on that very issue about how much do you give away for free in your listing. And we're going to get deep into that in our video, because again, if it's a 5-page article and you show all 5 pages, Sometimes people don't buy.
Exactly.
So we'll get a little deeper into that in the video coming up soon. We'll be shooting it in 2 weeks. It'll probably be up in about a month. So something else to look forward to. Look at us teasing.
Cool. Yeah, nice.
Teasing away. How about any buys? Anybody out there buying anything? You know, I know what I should have bought is a snowblower.
I got true. I got big deals in the works like usual. But I said last week that the car collection came through. It was like, I think 1,200 Johnny Lightning. So I ended up picking that up. That was a good deal. We're working on those now. A couple big magazine deals in the works, 3 or 4 right now, actually. So hopefully they happen slowly, like one a month.
You don't want them all the same
day. Give me time to make room. I'm always juggling stuff around, but the one deal we talked about had some original art in it. I think close to 10,000 magazines.
Do you know anybody that's trying to move into dealing in original art?
No, can't say that I do. No, sorry.
Somebody's starting to try to get into that stuff.
Okay, wow, good for somebody.
Wow.
I guess somebody's gonna be making money selling to somebody.
Wow. I'm gonna say you're gonna start stepping on my toes.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michelle, definitely upgrading a bigger store so that way you've got a lot of room to be able to relist, use up your listings, and it doesn't make any difference because you got so many listings available to you. Definitely. Anybody else out there buying anything? Tell you the weather. I don't know how the weather is everywhere, but I know it wasn't good over here.
Nothing for you? Picked up nothing good?
As a matter of fact, I did, but I'm first going to tell the story.
Okay.
Do you remember Monday morning?
I don't remember like yesterday morning.
I always ask you that.
Yeah.
I know the answer.
Well, it was a holiday. We had 18 inches of snow. Was it 18?
We did get 18 inches of snow.
It was a holiday. We were closed. Most of my employees I still worked. I'm sure you still worked, but most people did not.
So I ended up going to Mr. Magazine's I was worried about driving over there. Now I had the day off. I got up earlier than usual. Was able to actually get a shower. I was planning on not getting a shower and just getting over there because I don't know how long it would take me to clean the car, but I couldn't really sleep well. So I woke up at about 12:20 in the morning, jumped in the shower. I was outside by about 12:35, did some shoveling, cleaned the car off, drove over. I'm going to say that driving over to your store at 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:50 in the morning, had to be within the top 20 worst drives of my life.
You've had a lot of bad drives.
I've had a lot of bad drives.
All over Monroe County.
It was really, really bad. The windshield wipers iced up and you couldn't see because they wouldn't clean the ice off on the thing right at it always happens. It's always right at the height you're looking out. So I'm driving over to your store, combination of doing this, up over, and then down like this when this got all nasty. And I ended up
plus you had really good eyesight too.
Oh, so, yeah. I could see no problem at all.
In front of you, yeah.
I could see no problem at all in the middle of the night. Luckily, there were only 2 cars the entire time I saw going the same direction as me. So I made it to your store fine. And I've done the trip enough times that it's like, I can't really tell where the road is, but I know the road turns like this. I know this.
Yeah, the only time you got plowed in was when you're trying to leave. And the plow was at the shop.
Well, I would say I'm going to just say number 20 worst drive of my life was driving to your store. Number 17 worst drive of my life was driving home from your store that day, because this is
a pre rambling story.
We must have gotten. What would you say? How much snow was on your car when you went out there?
So I left at 1:45 in the morning. I got there about 2 o'clock. It's usually a 5-minute drive. Took me 15 minutes. And I thought it wasn't bad at all. I'm like, what did we get? 6-7 inches? Oh, no big deal. And then when you left, we probably got 4 more inches.
We got about 4 inches in that 3 hours.
Yeah. And then I shoveled before I left. Then I went home, shoveled there. I think I slept for an hour or 2. Went back to the warehouse and I had to shovel there. And by that time, I think we got almost 2 feet. I mean, it was like 18 inches easily. It was like crazy. Just nonstop all day snow.
Well, we must have picked up 4 inches in the time between my getting to your store and my leaving the store.
Yeah.
You know who apparently was taking an extended coffee break? The snowplow drivers.
Yeah.
So I drove along Route 104. And this is fascinating to anybody not around here. Drove along Route 104 before the plows got on there. And it was that nice, heavy, nasty kind of snow, almost like sand. So I'm driving in ruts and I'm going I must have driven it must have looked like I was drunk if you were like on a helicopter watching me drive, because you'd be driving, you hit a rut, you start driving like that, like that,
Yeah.
like that. I had to actually get off like 2 stops early just because I said, I'm going to end up in a ditch if I
Right.
stay on this main road.
Oh,
Luckily, the city roads and town roads had been plowed. I don't know how I got in my driveway. I just made the turn and gunned it right in. So that was my Monday morning. So
man.
hopefully you had a better Monday morning than I had. And then Tuesday, I had no heat. So it's been a wonderful
Perfect,
week
yeah.
for me. I can't speak for everybody.
Well, down south, they got it bad in Georgia where I was. You know, when it gets 2 inches of snow, they shut down the whole freaking city.
Yeah. So in other words, they got as much snow in
Yeah.
a week as we got in 4 hours. And
Crazy.
I could not survive up north. We got a tiny bit of ice and cars, wrecks everywhere. Yeah. Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, it was not a fun day. It was not a fun morning. So that was my day. But as to buys, so did meet up with a couple of subscribers. They do house clean outs and everything. I've dealt with the one gentleman before. And matter of fact, one of them gave you a gift.
They did. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
What did they give you?
And it was an Aquinas. What is it? A yearbook?
It was like 50 years or 25
Yeah,
years of Aquinas,
celebrate,
like a history kind of book. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you sat down and read that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I read it while I was watching the video of you and the hockey professor. Yeah, and the funny thing, I was doing Instagram at the same time.
Oh, so you were
I killed like 3 birds
so
with one
busy
stone.
all
Yeah.
at the same time. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So did meet a couple of subscribers. I want to thank them. They were great guys. They want to continue to sell to us, so that's wonderful. The only downside to doing a buy, and I did buy it at a local mall, and the reason why was because they were willing to drive all the way into Rochester, and I said, look, it's a 45-minute drive for you.
Yeah.
Mrs. Papergoys wanted to go to the mall anyway. We'll just go to the mall. I'll meet you out there. You ever try to look through a collection when it's 7 degrees outside?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Let's put it this way. I did not go through every item in every box. It was more or less one of those, yeah, that box looks cool. Yeah, it's got stuff in it.
Yeah.
That box looks cool. It's got stuff in it. And throw it in there, and came up with a deal. And it I'll go a little more into that deal when we get to the main part of the show about negotiations, because that's kind of how we ended up doing it. And, they're happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. So it's a win-win for everybody. But that was the only real buy that I had as well. Okay. Anybody else pick up any buys?
Let's see. I don't know, but our weather was on the news. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It always is.
Wow. Well, beats the usual reasons why Rochester's on the news. Usually it's for a corrupt mayor or for crime. So
true. That is true. Yeah. Gosh, it must suck in Santa Rosa.
Oh,
jeez.
Man. Jeez, Santa Rosa, Sam. I don't know how you guys can deal with that.
Terrible.
Better put on a hot toddy or drink a hot toddy, that kind of weather. Terrible. Did sell an item on Etsy. 2 items on Viv's Views.
Oh, I did a refund on Mercari.
You weren't able to find the item?
That too, and they end up canceling it after so much. It was like 2
they
weeks
did.
ago, yeah.
Okay.
So,
oh, all right. That's good. And everybody, we were talking about it a little bit. I want to thank everybody for the kind words about the anti-bolo video that I did. Unfortunately, I'm going to be able to do a second one, and it's actually all done, and it's all set to go up as well. And hopefully this is the last one I ever do. Hopefully there's no more mistakes ever in anything that I've listed.
Yeah,
we'll probably be making this a weekly event, unfortunately. But people do enjoy that, so that's great. And what'd you think of the breaking news video I put up yesterday?
I thought it was breaking news.
It really was. What was your favorite part about that video? The end.
Just the whole thing was just awesome.
Scintillating.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And I actually spilled a little tea here. Total little bit of a secret. Do you remember what happened with your sister's PayPal 2 months ago, I'm going to say, with the shipping?
Oh, when one of my employees clicked pay with PayPal and now with eBay managed payments. Yes, her account went negative and they started using her credit card and so forth, all her backup funding.
Yep. 99% sure it's not the fault of your employee.
Really?
Or you.
Wow.
I was on Viv's Views, and do check out the video if you haven't seen it already. I was on Viv's Views, and it was making me log into PayPal when I was buying postage. And I go, that's odd. I should be set up to come from my funding.
Sure.
So I changed that. Wasn't thinking about it, whatever. And it just happens. I don't sell a lot of items on there. Who knows, what happened on that. So then I was on Papergoy and selling, printing, no problem, no problem, no problem. Printing all day long, no
Around
problem.
the same time period?
Yeah, no problem at all. I was printing, 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, no problem. All of a sudden at like 2:30 in the afternoon, I printed a label. And about 3 minutes later, I get an email from PayPal. We have deducted $3.68 from your PayPal to eBay shipping. And I go, what?
Yeah.
Why would that happen? So eBay changed that setting on you. So definitely, if you haven't seen the video, do watch. It's a real short video, but do check your settings. They definitely have glitches. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Wow,
I even called it glitch du jour in there because, I'm French. And
I better hire him back then. It wasn't his fault.
Nice. Nice. The anti-Bola video was really clever. Great spin on the old standard. Greta job. Yes, Greta.
Great job.
He's like, Greta.
Well, over here he says great.
Oh, all right. I was just going to go into, you've stolen my childhood, for shame. Anyway.
Let's listen to Eric for a second and get off that. Okay.
I hit the like button. And Jiminy was on that show that you are going to watch after.
Jiminy, great job.
If you actually saw the show, it might come up a little bit better. Another quick thing that I wanted to talk about, because I think it was William that had mentioned in the one video that he had gotten it, and I'd gotten this as well on email, and I thought it was a little bit odd that I can't find it. I got an email of our $1 Million Peddlers about our records show that we are owed money from you. And it's from eBay, and it was, it was official. Your eBay account has a balance due. So I go, oh, how the heck did that happen? I have funding on there. They're supposed to be able to take it, my backup funding. So I go and I click on the email, and through eBay too. So it isn't a phishing or anything like that. I go into email messages. There it is. I click on it. I go, okay. Oh, you have no balance due. Everything's good. I go, why would you send me an email telling me how, what a delinquent I am, what a bum I am, and this and that and this and that. And it turns out I don't owe anything. So if you do get that email, it's just a glitch. Subscriber William got it. I got it. So they are out there. If you get it, it's not, obviously you check into it. You click on it through the eBay messages just to make sure it's not phishing. Sure. But it's just a glitch that they're having. So problems they're having. I checked my bank account today, and it looks like eBay shipping may be double charging. Oh, now that could be a problem.
Yeah.
That could definitely be a problem. Definitely reach back out to us and let us know how that goes, because that's something that everybody should be checking. I see 1987 Ventures is in the house. I know they've got a channel they're starting.
Oh, nice.
So do support them. They've been with us since early on. Couple of other quick things. How was your trip?
My trip ended up, we were supposed to stay Thursday through Monday, and my kid went to the football camp. He was drafted number 1 at his position, and at the end of the practice, he broke his thumb.
Oh.
So it was right around 10 o'clock at night. We couldn't find anywhere to go but emergency, so we were there all night long, and since he couldn't play in the game, and they were getting their 2-inch snowstorm, we ended up upgrading to leave Saturday morning, and we came home Saturday. So.
All right, that looks totally inappropriate. You're talking about your kid's broken hand, and I'm laughing, but the 2-inch snowstorm did make me laugh. I'm not laughing about his broken hand.
So we left a 2-inch snowstorm to go to a 18-inch snowstorm, but we just
and probably was safer in the 18-inch snowstorm.
True, yes, yeah. But we did visit the University of Georgia. That was awesome. That was the highlight of it, I think. But
nice,
yeah.
Very good.
Some highlights, some, good and bad.
Hey, quick question for you. When, what month is your birthday?
July.
Are you asking me or telling me? I do know, but do you understand how the show works?
Well, maybe because you're giving me my gifts like 6 months in advance, you forgot what month it really is.
You do understand how the show works. All right, just making sure you're on board. I bought something very, very cool for Mr. Magazine at Heritage, and I stepped up to the plate. And I was wondering when your birthday was, because I bought it. When did I buy it? I paid for it Monday. So there's an off chance it might be here in time for your birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you'll get it. It'll be the latest gift I've ever gotten from you.
So I'll give that to you on air when it finally shows up. Heritage is way behind their shipping still. I did get something that they did just ship something from last year, so they're starting to catch up.
Oh, good for them. Yeah, nice.
Sounds like you need a
Yeah,
vacation
I
after
do.
the trip.
I
Yeah,
do,
that
for
is true.
sure.
Couple of other quick little things on here. If I could find what. Oh, if I told you that I'm going to respond to your email within one business day, what does that mean? So you email me on a Friday, and I say I'm going to respond with you within one business day. When am I?
Well,
When
I would
am I
expect
obligated to
I
respond?
would
by?
expect it Monday at the latest, some point Monday. That's what I would think.
Yeah. And if I said to you, what about this last weekend with the holiday?
Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I said 3 business days or 5 business days, whatever. So I had to make an appointment for the doctor for something, and it was I was on hold, and they give you the whole thing on there, do this, do that, and they want you to go and schedule your own appointment, go on the computer,
Mhm.
schedule the appointment on the computer. It'll bring a calendar up, you schedule it, and then they'll get back to you and tell you whether that worked or not. Is that a
Yeah,
good
right.
date or not?
Yeah.
However, they said they would get back to you, and I want you to tell me what this means. And anybody else out there, tell me if you've ever heard of this before or not. They will get back to you within 24 business hours.
24 business hours.
Exactly. What does that mean?
I mean, a day is 24 hours. So is it the same thing? They're just
I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, are you open 12 hours a day? Are you open 6 hours a day? If you're open 8 hours a day, it's 3 business days.
Yeah.
If you're open 24 hours, which they're not, they're
Right.
an imaging company.
Yeah.
I go, what does 24 business hours mean? I have never heard that in my life before.
I mean, if they work 6 hours a day, is it 4
4
days?
days. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
But then weekends don't count. So.
I said, don't try to get cute and say 24 business hours. Say one business day. I don't know what the heck they were trying to say there. So I've never seen that one before. Business week has become extinct to many people. Well, it's definitely extinct to all of us. That's definitely sure.
Yeah.
One quick thing, and I wanted to bring this up as well. I did mention it on the Auction Professor show. He was talking about sourcing and how you go about sourcing. Locally, we have a flea market, and they just put up their schedule. So I went and I put all that into my phone, all the various dates. So if you've got something seasonal like that around you, do start looking. There's the places are starting to put their schedules out. That way you can make sure that you keep track of it. One thing that I do is I have a spreadsheet that tells where I bought stuff at, and I can look at the old spreadsheets and I can say, oh, hey, it's almost time for this. It's almost time for that. So do make sure that you do that, because if you find places that have good stuff, in the old days, I would say, hey, whatever happened to that sale? And I'd look and I go, oh, it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I remember it was good 2 years ago, but I never bothered to keep track of it. But the funny thing is, do you know what April 17th is, other than the first day of our local flea market?
16 days after April Fool's Day.
I cannot argue with that. It also is Easter. What do you think the odds are that they're really going to hold the flea market on Easter?
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. So I put a big question mark next to that on my calendar.
Unless it's your old friend in Canandaigua or Batavia, wherever he landed. He does things on holidays sometimes.
That is true. That is very, very true. And I wanted to bring up one last thing before we get into the main topic over here. So I got, there is a full moon this week, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I believe first full moon of the year. What have you been doing? You haven't been paying attention to anything.
Listen, between the trip and the holiday and the snowstorm, I'm still getting back in the swing of things.
I had to drive the 2 of the worst drives in my life this past week, and I woke up to no heat, and I know it's a full moon.
I'm in a little depression. I got to get back on track. Haven't worked out this week. Haven't exercised. Got off track. I got to get back on.
I haven't worked out this week either, if it makes you feel any better.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an email from a fine customer on Amazon. I sold a item to them, and this was the message that I got from them. This was the first pamphlet ordered for my daughter. 2 days later, I decided my son should also have a copy, so I ordered another pamphlet. Amazon says both pamphlets were delivered January 11th. Neither, capital letters, neither pamphlet has appeared at this address. Funny. Everything else seems to have made it here. Who is the liar here? You or Amazon?
Wow.
So I emailed back. I said, or maybe the post office.
Exactly. Well, that's the best ever. Where's my item? It says delivered. They're asking me. I mean, I get this every day. It's crazy.
So I emailed back and I said, well, that is odd. Hopefully you're able to find it. I know I'm not lying because I didn't do anything with the tracking. I sent it out. I said, make sure you check your address with Amazon. Make sure it's the proper address. And then I would ask my postal carrier. But who's the liar here? You or Amazon? I'm like, well,
that's crazy.
I didn't update the tracking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how
you know what I tell him now? I think it reassures him that I'm making an effort. I said, let's both call our local post offices. I'll call mine, you call yours, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't really call, but it makes them feel good, and I shouldn't be calling because if it's
they're not going to tell you anything. That's
right.
What
But if it's 80% on the way to their location or was delivered at their location, my post office would not know anything, but their post office may know something. So like I give, I just tell them, hey, I'm working on it. You working on it on your end, and 99 of 100 times it's fine.
I mean, I guess if it says it was picked up by the carrier and hasn't moved since then, then you maybe call your post office and say, hey, what's going on with this? But otherwise, it went through Memphis. I'm not in Memphis. My local post office is not going to know anything about Memphis.
They don't. I mean, are they newbies or they just don't care? I don't know. It's baffling.
Oh, I'm 1987 Ventures. Oh, going to a flea market this week, and I'm jealous. Wish I could go out and go to that. Definitely do a sourcing video on that. And it reminds me, we got to buy a GoPro at some point.
Oh, one other thing.
Yes.
Okay, I will remember the GoPro. I do have one I never use. We can use that.
Oh, perfect.
So Adult DVD Marketplace I use have a lot of success there, and they are for the seller.
Okay.
This is 2 times that buyers broke my chops, and I said, listen, I don't really want to deal with them anymore. There's no way to ban them, and then they ban them for me. Like, no questions asked. They'll say, if
you had the
send them an email, but this second gentleman bought a lot of movies from me, but he lives in the US. He ships them overseas, or either I ship them to his friend and his friend ships them to him overseas, and then there's customs you got to deal with. It's adult. They don't get there, or they get there and they charge him a fee. And he blames me every time, wants a refund. And one said delivered, and he put a credit card dispute in. So I contacted ADM and I said, listen, I proved to him that it got delivered. I've done nothing wrong. I send it. He complains every time. I send it to his address that he has on file. I can't do anything else, and they always get delivered. He's always busting. I go. I'm not saying I want to ban him, but can you give him a warning for me? And like 5 minutes later, like, oh, we banned him. They said he might rejoin under a different name, but as right now he's banned. So he knows better not to,
Well, and the other gentleman, and I know you sent the emails off to the master of the site master.
Yeah.
You sent the emails. I mean, he got really, really nasty in the emails.
To kill myself. Yeah, it was just absurd. And they were both good
customers. Prior.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's too bad.
Oh, and then one other thing, and we'll get into the main topic. I did get another email through eBay. Mm-hmm. This is Thomas. You let me live with you long ago. Like, I don't remember having let somebody named Thomas live with me long ago.
For you. I know you had a few different roommates. But...
Yeah, I never heard of a Thomas. And then he goes, oh, is this? And he said whatever the gentleman's name is. He goes, oh, he was paper going in 1998. So
wow, you're a hack.
Apparently I am. Apparently I stole my name. I don't know what's going on. I said, good luck to you in your endeavors. I'm not that Thomas. And he apologized. There's no worries. I'm not upset over it. But give me one thing I should look for this weekend. I'll do a video on trying to find it. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is interesting. We will boy. Go ahead.
I mean, I would say anything Super Bowl right now. Super Bowl's coming up. I mean, that's for me. I would look for Super Bowl stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple weeks in advance. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yep, and I know I believe they're upstate New York.
Any of the players or any of the teams that are in it is always hot. I got a ton of Devin Singletary cards. I stockpiled rookies autographs and then sitting around for 2 years. He's doing decent. Bills are doing decent. Even though I don't like the Bills, I like money. We've been listing Devin Singletaries and they've been selling. So, I mean, you can sell any players that are playing in these teams right now, regardless.
I'm going to say, don't buy this, but look for a 1975 Hot Rod magazine. There you go. Okay. There's your quest. Yeah. 1975 Hot Rod magazine. You never know.
Scavenger hunt.
There you go. Yeah. A lot of fun. All right, we're gonna head on into the main topic. You want to just see? I see a couple people there. And
All right, let's see.
Angel H. I dropped off at UPS once and it said delivered right away on eBay. I got an email from the customer saying I was trying to scam them. It was on Friday, of course.
Jeez.
Dealt with that all weekend. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, Angela's got a good one. Definitely. Yep.
Valentine did. What's wrong with 1975 Road and Truck? Or did I say Road and Truck or
No,
Hot Rod? Both of them, either
I
one.
think we're trying to help him make some money.
Oh.
Not, we don't want to give him anti-polo stuff. All right.
What, you don't want him stealing the idea for the anti-polo videos?
Yeah, Michelle, I agree. I was so disgusted, and then sadly they gave us hope. I would have rather them get blown out, so we knew the game was over from the start. But they gave us hope. They made a great comeback, and it ended horribly.
Well, I am, and I'll come clean here. I am one of the few people that legitimately has two teams, and I know a lot of people say you can't have two teams, but I do. I grew up in Cleveland Browns fan. Art Modell, and I will just leave it at that, took the team away, and I had no team, and there's no way I was rooting for the Ravens. So I jumped on the New York Jets at the time. That was the Rich Kotite era. They went 1-15.
Nice.
The team I'd always rooted for didn't have a team. The team I was now rooting for won one more game than a team that didn't exist. So that's the kind of luck that I have. So the nice thing about being a Jets and a Browns fan, you never really worry about crushing playoff losses, at least not in the last 30 years. Because the Jets, what did they do? 3 games, 4 games this year? I don't know. They were horrible.
Real bad. They
Yes,
did beat
were.
the Bills.
They did.
And they almost beat them a second time until late in the game, I think.
You know more about them than I do. I just get disgusted about basically the opening kickoff, and I go, oh, they won the coin toss. That's all they're going to win today.
Yeah, I'm forced to watch Bills games because my wife and her family and our friends are Bills fans, and unless the Cowboys are on, of course, which they aren't anymore.
Hey, Vintage Philly. Wanted to let you know I did reach out to a dealer that I know in Philadelphia, and he said reach out to me again. So we might be heading up that way. Bagpipes and I might be heading up that way in May. So it's definitely on the possibility. I got to reach out to him, and there's a couple dealers I know in Chicago. So basically, it depends if I want to make a right turn or a left turn out of the driveway.
Oh.
Is really what it comes down to. If they don't plow, maybe I'll just go straight ahead.
Yeah, do a shot and take a guess.
There you go. Someone yanked the latch after I have a good book. I was so mad. There we go. All right, we're going to head on into the main topic over here. Get made fun of for being a Bills fan. Yeah, they won.
I'm the Bills bully. I like to bully Bills fans. It's fun.
Thing about being a Browns fan, nobody bullies you. They just know you stink.
Yeah.
And this is really a good topic, where to start negotiations, because you have a lot of big deals all the time. So why don't you give a little bit of insight in what the starting point is? Because a lot of times what ends up happening is I'm looking to sell stuff. You're looking to buy stuff. You look at, the stuff in general, and then we just stand there with dumb looks on our faces and stare at each other. So how do you even start at that point? I come into your store with 20 boxes of stuff.
Right. Well, first of all, it depends. First of all, like if it's a friend of mine, I got a friend that sells me sports cards, and he's got a lot of money into it, but he wants to give me a deal. And we end up working it out. I'll crunch some numbers, and we'll do it a little box at a time or something. And that always works out. He's happy, and if I'm a little low, he'll ask for a little more, or vice versa.
See, and that's a good thing and I'm going to jump in right over here. Boxes of stuff, old paper stuff. I generally figure in my head $10 to $15 a box is about fair.
Yeah.
It just as a starting point.
Right.
So when I met the subscribers, and again, it was freezing my tuchus off. I'm just kind of quickly adding up the boxes, and a couple of them were a little flat, so those don't really count as boxes. So I kind of figured the one gentleman had about 5 boxes of stuff. So I said, how's $75? And he said, I can live with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I want to keep selling to you. You keep buying. That's fair. Whatever. And again, I came home and sorted through the stuff. No great treasures in there, but stuff that's neat, stuff that I enjoy listing. So, it was stuff. It was cool stuff, but nothing rare in there that I saw. Well, probably a lot of really rare stuff, but nothing with high demand that's rare.
Sure.
So I was happy with that. The other gentleman brought his own stuff. We loaded it in. I figured it was about 4 boxes worth of stuff. And I said, $60. And he got this look on his face like, I said, 75. That's fine. 75. Because again, I've dealt with him before. He's always been fair. And kind of like when you were dealing with the person you deal with all the time, if you're a little low, they're willing to let you know.
Yeah.
And you work it out with them. And you know, that's somebody that you have an ongoing relationship with. And
Right.
I bought for this one
Yeah.
subscriber before, and I hope to buy again. You know, and could I have gotten it for 60? Yeah, I'm sure that I probably
Right.
could have.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to burn the bridge to say $15. And I
Exactly.
could still make money
Yep.
at 75, and it's more than fair. And you know, maybe I missed something when I was going through. Maybe I miscounted boxes. I mean, it's 7 degrees outside. I'm loading the car. I'm not exactly,
Sure.
you know, and we kind of loaded everything in, and I was trying to figure out what was whose and everything like
Yeah.
that. So maybe I miscounted the boxes, whatever.
Sure.
He was happy with the 75. I was happy with the 75, and everything goes. But I think that the first thing that you have to do is get some shorthand amounts as to what you're willing to pay on stuff. And we were
Right.
talking about this before, you know, back in the day, a comic book was a dime, was what a shorthand amount was. Just
Yeah.
a generic comic book. You paid a dime a piece. A long box, 300 comics, $30.
Right.
And if you just go into it with that number, you've at least got a starting point.
Sure.
Now, obviously, they bring in golden age books,
Okay.
superhero,
Yep.
whole different story, but they just bring in that mixed lot of miscellaneous stuff. You take a
Mhm.
quick run through it. You don't see nothing jumps out at you. There, you
Right.
know, Hulk 181, different story.
Yeah.
You just do a quick run through it, and it's got, you know, Cracky #2, and it's got 3 Life with Archies, and it's got
Yeah,
an
you gotta
off
buy
condition
some.
Iron Man, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, okay, $30 per long. How many longs do they have?
Right.
What are some of the other numbers like action figures? I know nothing about them.
I mean, I generally, whatever it is, I break it down into good stuff. I call it juice, and then common stuff, whether it's sports cards. With
All right,
my
but let me
buddy.
ask a question right there. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yep.
I come in with 500 Funko Pops.
Mhm.
Do you know what the juice stuff is when you're looking at it, or how do you do something like that? Or I come in with
Well-
100 McFarlanes. How do you figure that out?
Let's say I know more about McFarlane's I've dealt with than Funkos, because Funkos, there's 100,000 of them. There's exclusives, there's short prints, but whatever. I don't know. I'm not an expert on those, you know, unless I've had it already. But I would always ask them what they want first. And well, what's the best? What's the top 5 you have? Like, you know,
Okay.
so and then they'll pick out. So instead of looking through 300 of them, they'll pick out 5 or 10, and then those I can at least look up real quickly instead of sitting there for an hour looking up every exclusive or, you know, whatever.
So that's a good idea then. So in that case, with something other like that, you ask them what the best items are.
Right. And then they'll say, hey, this one's $200. And, you know, and then most people, believe it or not, use the Funko site, which is a little high, about 10-20% off. But, you know, again, I explain that to them. I go, no one sells on this site. I'm going to sell it on eBay. And I kind of explain, if it's a new customer, I explain it to them like, hey, this is, you know, and I try and teach them how to look up prices on eBay where I can see them. So go to the completed sold price. You know, take the average price in the same condition. I pay about 40 to 50% of that. So then, you know, I've had customers that come in now, hey, I did what you did. You did what you said. And you put stickers on these boxes. I want, you know, this is $100. I want to get 50. And that speeds up the process for both of us. So no one wants to sit there going through 200 pieces, you know. So that definitely helps out.
So now if I just came in with a random, I just said to you, look, I just bought a storage unit. I've got 500 Funkos, all in nice shape.
Yeah.
What are you paying on them? What's like a
So-
ballpark on like a Funko or a Hess truck or a?
Usually, well, Hess trucks are easier. I mean, usually $5 to $10 in a Hess, because that's all they go for on eBay. You know, 10 to 20. There's some rare ones, newer ones,
Right.
older
Yeah,
ones,
and obviously, if
for the
I
most
come in
part,
with
yeah.
the wasn't there a boat on the Hess and stuff?
yeah, in the 60s. Yeah,
If I come up with
thousands
the
of dollars.
Boat
yeah.
in a box,
Sure.
you throw everything out the window
Right.
for the really good stuff, but you need a starting point.
Yeah, like
So-
1990 to 2010. You know, $5 to $10 on average. You know, because you can buy them on lots on eBay for $5 to $10.
And obviously, another thing that I think is important, that $5 to $10 price actually goes down as the quantity goes up, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So in other words, if I said to you, I've got 20 trucks, you might give me between $100 to $200.
Right.
If I came in and said I got 4,000 trucks,
Yeah.
you're not giving me
Yeah, right.
$20,000 to $40,000.
No, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely ask for quantity ahead of time. But for Funkos, you know, 90% of them are common. They sell for $10. We would pay $4 or $5. I mean, that's just how it is. I did look at a collection maybe a year and a half ago. The gentleman's son passed away, and he had 1,000 Funkos, and he
Okay.
really did have 1,000 Funkos.
Mhm.
And say his average price, he paid 20 for them.
Okay.
And then he had rare
That's
ones. Somebody might have
$20,000,
paid 10. 10 was the cheapest, but he might have paid 20 or 30. So, and the father knew this, and he said, "Listen, I got to get 10 a piece," and it just wasn't going to happen. I mean,
Mhm.
I said a lot of these, we looked through them. A lot of them might only be worth 10, 12, 15. Some might be more, but most of them aren't. And I think I offered them must have been 6, 7,000.
Okay.
And he goes, "I got a guy from Syracuse coming in." I said, "Oh, just let me know, but that's my offer." And either he kept them or sold them. But but Funkos, they're pretty easy for the most part, unless there's some rare ones. But you look, like I said, you look them up, and you look the best ones up, and then you get familiar with them.
Okay, so that's good on that. Because what I wrote down is I think the most important thing is if it's stuff that you're dealing in, have a baseline price. What you're willing to pay in general,
Mhm.
and then you move that price up or down depending on quantity. And
Yep.
the more stuff you get, the lower you move it in general.
Right.
Just because, again, like we were talking about that,
Yeah.
you don't want 4,000 starting lineups. You're going to pay me more for 20 more per piece for 20 starting lineups than you are for
Right.
4,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just the way it works. So have a baseline per type of item,
Mhm.
and that at least gives you a starting point. Because again, they, as you've said a million times, they may have an idea what they want, but most people don't want to tell you what they're looking for. Now, dealers are different,
Right.
and I tend to deal with the dealers. But one problem that I have, and I'm going to tell you what a problem I have on a house call is I've got a couple of problems on house calls. Number one, I always overpay at a house call
True.
because I fear that they've heard bad things about dealers, and so they're thinking, "Oh, this guy's going to rip me off."
Right.
But the other problem that I have is you call me over to your house. You've got an entire bookcase full of books.
Mhm.
You tell me I want to sell stuff out of this. I go through it and I fill up a banker box of books. Now I know someone that we both know, they basically pay $10 for a box of books.
Mhm.
In my head, I'm thinking to myself, I just came all the way out here. You had me in your house and I'm going to hand you $10. To me, that's insulting for me because I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't want somebody to come by.
Right.
And even if I want the thing gone, I'm
Yeah.
not going to have you buy my house for $10. I'm
Right.
just not.
Sure.
It's not worth my time or your time for $10.
Mhm.
I would sooner donate it than get $10
Yeah.
from you just because. But then I look at it the other side of things is I can't overpay for stuff.
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
pay you $40 for the box of books if I'm going to sell it for $50. I mean, what?
Yeah.
But then part of me is thinking $10 is like a slap in the face because I've spent an hour of your time or half an hour of your time. I drove all the way over, which I'm not worried about my drive. I'm
Right.
more worried about you took the time out of your day to meet with me,
Sure.
and I'm going to give you $10. So that's kind of a weird little situation there. And in cases like that, unless the stuff's absolute garbage, I do say, what do you want for everything? Just because I know that I don't know everything. So I probably pass some stuff by that is good. And if I would much rather give you $50 and buy the whole bookcase full of stuff than cherry pick it and give you $10. Because again, in my head, is it worth your time having me buy? And what are you going to do with the rest of the stuff?
Yeah, they want to clear it all out anyways.
So I would rather buy stuff that I don't necessarily want just to make it, and again, then that's also how you learn. Now I have 6 banker boxes full of stuff or 8 banker boxes full of stuff, and something is good that I didn't know was good.
Yeah. Well, I've lost out deals going to houses where they don't have a price, which is usually the case. They have a price, but they don't want to tell me the price. So they force me to make the offer, and it's less than what they want. They don't counter or tell me what they would pay for, or what they would want me to pay, and then they'll sell to someone else for a little more. So there was a deal where I offered, I think, $2,200 on an autograph collection, and he said, "Oh no, I want more than that. Let me make a phone call. I'll call you back." 2 days later, I find out he sold to the guy up the road for $300 more. Where if he just said, "Give me $2,500,"
Oh, $2,200.
yeah,
Okay.
give me
So
2,500.
10%
Yeah, I mean, I would have given him 20. Why wouldn't I? But he didn't give me that option, which for whatever reason, maybe he thought he can get 3,000, and then when he talked to the other guy up the road, he goes, "I'll give you 25." Well, now it's looking better than 22 because he's got the deal with him. He's there, boom, So
That's a good question, Popeyes. I'll let you start on that. Have you ever given a seller more than
Yeah,
the initial
I
offer?
absolutely have a bunch of times, and I would feel bad for people. I remember the Star Wars collection they came in. They had it when they were a kid, so they had nothing into it. It was vintage stuff, and they said, "Oh, just give me a couple $100." And I'm looking. There was one item worth $200, so it was probably $1,000 there. And I think I gave him 450. I said, "Listen, in condition, I'll give you $400 or 450." And they were loving life, and I've done that many times. I just feel bad ripping someone off like that. They have no clue, you know what I mean? Or anybody for the matter. I want to be fair and I want people to come back and be happy. So
I definitely have. And the one spot where I find that this is going to sound crazy. If you've been doing this a long time, you wind up with cases where people will give you stuff. And I always say, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I don't take anything for free. I've got to give you something. I've had it before where I've been at house calls and they're like, a mutual friend of ours gave me the lead on it. I go over there and they're like, I just need these books gone. Take them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't just take them. They have to be gone. We're moving. No use for them. I say, no, no, no. I know it's not much, but I have to give you $10 or I have to give you $20. And I had one older couple absolutely refused. They would not take my money. I tried 4 or 5 times and I go, no, you came over here. You helped us.
Yeah.
It was a weird situation. They're like, we're not sure what we want to sell. So I went through the books and about 2/3 of what I picked out, they're like, oh, we want to keep that. We want to keep that. But I still filled up 2 boxes of books. And then they said, you came over here. You helped us sort our books out. You gave us stuff. We're not taking any money. You're taking the book. I got to give you. No. And they absolutely refused to take money. So that, they were looking at it that they were basically giving me the books they didn't care about for my labor finding the book. Because once I had found a couple of books, I could tell what they wanted to keep. So then as I was going through, I'm like, oh, this is kind of tied into that. You probably want to keep this. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. So I guess they basically paid me for my labor on that over there. Right. But yeah, I've had dealers before. Just take it. You know me better than that. I'm not going to take it. I don't care if I'm giving you $5. I'm giving you something for it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel right taking it. So yeah, definitely do come back with more than what people want on stuff. Let me ask Popeyes a quick question. What's the just postcards, just common postcards, a starting point? Is it a penny a piece? Is it a nickel a piece? What's a good in your head starting point? You walk into somebody that got postcards, and you don't see nothing jumps out at you when you first see it. And I realize there's a difference if they're chromes, if they're continental, if they're European, yada, 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 yada. But you just see they've got 1,000 postcards. What's a starting point? Is it $10? Is it $25? What's a good starting point on that? You would know better than anybody on that.
I'd like to know how big a million
penny a piece.
I'd like
a million.
I'd like to know how big a million cards is. Like, what kind of truck do you need? Pickup truck is good enough for a million. I don't know. I would assume so, right?
Well, what he didn't tell you is he had to mail them all to him.
Oh, nice.
One at a time. Yeah. So it was a penny, but postage killed them. So a penny a piece on a million. So that's good to know on that over there. So what's 100,000? Is it 3 cents a piece? Is it 5 cents a piece? I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't need to know that.
But again, if you have millions of cards, though, why are you paying more to another deal if it's the same type of stuff? So if you're paying a penny on those,
well, because obviously
you're not pay a little more in a smaller bulk. But again, you don't want to pay too much because look what you can get them for in bulk. And that's what I do with the magazines. I tell these people all the time, like, I bought this deal, which is very similar. Say I pay $2 per maggie at 1,000 magazines. Why am I giving you $4 or $5 per? It doesn't make any sense, unless the stuff's better,
You're right. And obviously really good stuff is a whole different story on stuff. But I made a little note there.
Oh, there you go. 10 cents each.
Okay.
And 26-foot Penske or truck. Cool.
Wow. Yes. What I did there is I think it's important to have a baseline number. Now, thanks to Popeyes, we have one on postcards. But the reason why it's good to have a baseline is you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And again, it's a whole different story if you're going through it and you see, I'm going through and I see a Mickey Mantle rookie card. Okay, a whole different story. But you're going through it and you see stuff, for lack of a better word to put it, stuff. You see some okay stuff. You see the average stuff. You see the normal stuff. Nothing's jumping out at you that, oh my gosh, this is really, really good. It's just stuff. If you have the baseline price, that's your offer. if you go with $10 to $15 a box for just miscellaneous ephemera stuff, and the guy's got 10 boxes, your offer is $100 to $150. I mean, that's your
Right,
offer.
yeah.
Let him convince you that it's better than that. And again, when you're looking through it, if it is better than that, then obviously you raise that price.
Yeah.
Maybe at that point you're at $25 a box. Maybe you look through it and you go, this is stuff I really have no interest in. There's, that entire box is May 1975 Hot Rod magazines. There's 40 of them.
Right.
I don't want to pay $10 for that box.
No,
I want to
right,
pay less on that.
exactly.
And they've got 20 boxes like that. Now we're down to $5 a box, but at least you had the starting point of $10 or $15 a box on just stuff.
Sure.
You have a starting point on comics of $30 a long. Back in the day, I know sports cards were a penny a piece was the starting point on them.
Yep.
And you can move from there. Coverless comics were a penny to 2 pennies, 2 cents a piece.
Right.
That was just your starting point. And again, you're there and the guy goes, wait, this has 12 Jeter rookies in it. Okay, I didn't see that because I didn't look through everything. Now we can at least move off of that, but we've got a starting point. So hopefully that helps you some over there, because again, you wind up with these big deals and you have no idea at all where to start at. And you're like, I don't know if $2,000 is insulting or if I'm overpaying at it. I don't know, because there's stuff everywhere. Exactly. But if you can break it down, the only other caveat I think I'd have to give you is the $10 to $15 a box is great and fair, but make sure that you take a quick look through in general, especially if you're getting into something. I'm thinking of one situation where I want to buy with a friend, and it was a guy had been running a bookstore, water damage.
Ooh.
And the bottom boxes had water damage. Well, those I have no interest in. So make sure you do a quick look at the stuff closest to the ground. You take a look at the elements. Was the roof leaking? Okay, the roof was leaking in that area. I'm not going to give you anything for those boxes as far as when I'm first looking.
Yep.
Those things are damaged. Maybe something are salvageable. Who knows? But I'm not going to pay you $10, $15 for a box of water damaged magazines, moldy magazines. Those are going to go right in the dumpster. I'm not paying you for them.
Right.
I'm not paying you $10 to drive home and throw it in my dumpster. I got better things to do with my $10. So that is one thing you have to worry about when you start getting into things, water damage, mice damage, mold, all that kind of stuff. Maybe
smoke. They don't like tobacco smoke.
Smoke. Yep. I did do a buy one time where everything was smoky. And so I gave a little less price, because not only was it smoky, the other problem too was the spines of all the books. Mm-hmm. It was disgusting.
Yellowed.
They were yellowed. You could see the bright blue colors on the front cover of the jacket because they'd all sat snug.
Yeah, right.
But the spines were just disgusting colored. So obviously I had to note that as well, but I paid a lot less money just because of the smoke damage.
Yeah.
You wind up with these things. So hopefully that does help you and gives you kind of a baseline start in how to start negotiation these big deals. Right. You do these deals all the time.
Yeah, and it gets frustrating with the people that are hard to deal with. I have a gentleman with adult magazines, good rare ones. He's got thousands of them. He wants to sell me, little at a time, but he may pay $20 to $30 in their heyday on eBay. Well, now eBay's done. The outlet is shrunk. I can't pay what he wants me to pay. I just can't do it. And I'm assuming this has been going on for months now. I'm assuming no one else wants his stuff because he keeps coming back to me, and we're still not reaching an agreement. Like, I'm trying to pay more than I want, but I don't want to pay way more than I want. I want to make money. It's good stuff, but it doesn't, $50 adult magazines, they don't fly off the shelf. They're going to sit there. You're going to sell one a month, two a month. Maybe, I sell $10, $20, $25 magazines. He wants me to pay $10 to $15 a magazine. It's not going to happen,
Why don't you answer the question for 1987 Ventures Tracy?
So, nothing major in that set. It probably on eBay, I'm sure they're going to go for 15 a piece on eBay, I would guess.
Well, did those come factory sealed?
Yes. They do have factory sets. So factory sets would probably sell for $15.
If sealed.
If sealed, yes.
Yep. So
the outer box will be open, but the seals there's a bunch of blocks inside. They would all be sealed inside that.
There you go. And what about if they're not sealed?
Probably $10 if it's a regular hand collated set.
Yep. So if they're factory sealed and you're willing to work on a small profit, they will sell though.
Yeah. Amazon, they might go for 20. And again, it's not the best year, so they're slow moving, but they do sell.
We got a couple other people in there. We'll run through some comments and we'll get into everyone's favorite time of the day.
What looks good here. Oh, this looks really good there. That's a good
Hit
one.
the like button. Oh yeah, many of you forgot. I forgot.
This one's for you.
Can't argue with anybody forgetting. I forget to remind you. Do you guys ever sell your just random photos? Okay, that's funny. Funny you ask that. Yes. And on to the next question. No, funny that you asked that because we're going to be shooting a typical regular Bolo video a couple of weeks from now. I actually sold a random photo of a deer hunter with a deer that he had gotten. I don't know what I was thinking when I listed it. I listed it at like $18 for a snapshot and I got 15 bucks out of it. I'm like, I have no idea why anybody bought that for $15, but I don't know what I was smoking when I listed it. So the short answer is yes. I do tend to stay away from them just because I don't know a lot about them, but occasionally I do run into one and I do list it. The real problem is because nowadays I'm trying to list nothing for less than $20. I don't know enough about snapshots to know what's worth listing above $20. That's what it comes down to. So generally those, if I get them, I tend to lot them out. I've got a lot of, I'm going to say 25 snapshots of dogs and cats all together. I'm going to just throw them all in one lot. I got to dig it out. I know right where it is and dig it out and just list it all in one lot. And, could be worth more than that. Could be some really good photos in there. I don't know. I'm into them right. Happy to move them.
We got the boxing photos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Taking photos of 78 RPM paper sleeves is tedious, but I'm almost done, which means I have completely worked through my 78 record death knot. Wow, good job, Jackass Retro.
How many did you have? Because I got like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 of them that I actually wanted one of my employees to list them on Amazon, and then it ended up not working out, but we'll get them on there. I think they would do well on Amazon, so I'm holding out at some point.
Are they on Amazon?
You can, Ox Professor sells them there, I think. Yeah.
No, I didn't know if they were on there to start with, though. If you listed off somebody else's listing. All right, keep your comments coming. We're going to run into real quick, and hopefully that helps you some there on how to work the big deals, because, again, a lot of times I'm overwhelmed on them, and then I have to step back and think, this is what you pay per, unless, of course, you see some better things.
Well, it's almost like we're mind readers, because when there's deals, sometimes I want to, confirm that I'm making the right offer, so I'll call Paper Boy and I'll say, what do you think? This is what I'm thinking. And we're like always in the same ballpark. It's funny.
Yeah. So we've been doing this long enough on that over there. 1 point at close to 3,000, 10% worth listing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Gonna head on into the rambling story of the week. You ever gone to Starbucks?
I don't think I've ever gone inside a Starbucks, but I've driven through. There's one right across the street from my house. My wife goes there when she can't go to a Dunkin'.
Okay. So I was at a mall a bunch of years ago with a buddy of mine, and we were on a football trip, and we just, we're going to get some coffee. So went there to get a coffee.
Hold on, I got to stop this. I was in the one time. In New York City, you forced me to drink an espresso.
Oh, how was it?
It was okay.
No, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So ordered whatever it was I ordered, which always is fun because I wear glasses for driving, but I never carry glasses with me anywhere else. So a lot of times you'll notice me on these videos squinting like this to try to see, because I do a great Gilbert Gottfried impression. And that should get all the millennials in, right? Yeah. Gilbert Gottfried. So I'm standing at any restaurant trying to read the board, and I'm like, because I can't possibly see it whatsoever. My friends all yell at me because they all have glasses, and I make them read it. What do they got up there? What do they got up there? I'm like, why don't you just wear your glasses? No, tell me what they got up there. So I figured out what I wanted to order. So I ordered it, and my buddy ordered whatever he wanted. So the barista took the order, and he goes, I need a name for the order, because they have to make your order up and everything like that. And then they bring it up to you. He goes, I need a name for the order. And I said, okay, Attila the Hun. And he just looks at me and he writes Attila the Hun down. And my buddy's looking at me like I'm absolutely insane. And afterwards, he's like talking to me about it. And I go, you know something? That was actually really stupid of me to say Attila the Hun. Do you know why?
No.
What if the real Attila the Hun showed up at Starbucks at that time and thought I was taking his order? That would not have been a good scene. I'm thinking Attila the Hun could take me in a fight.
I'd like to see the DeLorean that's outside with the flux capacitor.
I'm thinking Attila the Hun's 4-year-old daughter could take me in a fight. Let's be quite honest about it. So
for sure.
So just have a little bit of fun at your local Starbucks when you order something or other. Give them some bizarre name like Attila the Hun or something like that, and you'll definitely get at least a laugh out of the barista. Do a last run through here through the comments. Thanks everybody for showing up. Do hit the like button. Hopefully you did enjoy the topic. Guy Lombardo was the Barbra Streisand in the 1920s and 40s. I did not know that. A Star is Born. Yes, I sell hunting, fishing, cute kids, vacation photos, just crazy, $8 to $18 each. Many buy multiples. Well, that's good to know. After hunting, fishing, cute kids,
you
and
should,
vacation photos.
you should start selling some cute kid photos.
Yeah, my photos of me as a kid.
Yeah,
that'll work. I would think that actually you have to hesitate how you phrase it, but I would think ugly kids probably sell also. Just people, you're like, oh my God.
Can you still sell deceased photos?
I don't know. I know a lot of people do collect them, the postmortem.
Yeah,
I do know people collect them. I don't know if you're still allowed to sell those or not. Yeah, I really haven't gone very much into photos. That's one area of paper that I don't, stamps I don't touch at all unless it's first day covers and that kind of stuff that is real easy to sell.
Yeah.
But I never go out of my way to buy them. Another great show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
hey, Joe. It would have been even better if you were here at the start. Watch it on the replay. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Do hit the like button. We got another video dropping tomorrow, so definitely do check it out. Hopefully the sync is better on it. That's all I got.
Right,
we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.